I never know how to start these videos. So I'm in my mini camper van, BlueBarry Vanilow, and I'm in Moab. I'm camped out on some BLM lands outside of Moab. And I wanted to do a video about the decor in my van just because I think it's fun. And then I realized I haven't done a updated van tour. So I've had the van for over 3 years now, and my first van tour was like just a couple months after I got the van, and it was really mostly about the bed that I had built with the help of my dad. And so since then I've added a lot. Like I have the solar panel now, the power station, a fridge. Those are the main things. But then I've added a lot of little pieces and decor, just because since I spend so much time in here, I wanted to make it feel homey, right? And I realized I had a lot of stuff that were just sitting in drawers and I don't get to enjoy them. And so I was like, why not put it in the van? So I wanted to just do a little updated tour of the van. So here we go. All right, here's the van parked out here. I've got this whole place to myself. It's so nice. First off, here's the solar panel. It's a 200 watt Renogy solar panel, and I've got some videos on how I attached it, but it always stays on the crossbars here. Never comes off, ever. And the cords are back here, and they just go down through my back gate. Look at all that junk. I've actually been out of the van for almost 2 months now, and I had to pack for a lot of different situations. So basically came out on a ski road trip. So I've got my skis over here. And as you can tell, like it's just, the van is super dirty as well. My skis and ski poles are down here. So packed for skiing. And then I had a job in Southern California, so I needed like hot weather clothes. And then I went up to work some ski World Cup races, and so I needed cold weather clothes. And then I needed like my backpacking gear. So I've got 2 sleeping bags. This is my 0 degree bag, and then this is my 20 degree quilt that I'll be using when I'm backpacking, because I didn't need like something that heavy for when I'm backpacking. And here's my backpack. Here's a chair. If you remember, I have the full-size tire in here because there's no space underneath. And so I guess since that last tour I did, I painted my bed black. So I think it just looks better. And it's a lounger, so it comes up like this. So I have storage down here. And how I keep it up is by using this wood piece right here that it sits on, which I actually ended up breaking. So it's much lower than it was. It used to be like probably up here. To the other side, I wanted to open it up. So give me a minute to move all this stuff. So I've got this little carabiner. So I can lift the whole thing up and hold it on the little clothes rack that's in front of the doors. Okay, so now that that's up, you can see the inside. All right, so I have a hinge that goes from here to here that allows me to open the whole thing this way to have storage. And then I've got the hinge right here, or where it's cut for when it's down, that I can lift it that way to make it a lounger. So, but here is the power station. This is what the solar panel is plugged into. I guess I'm not getting any sun right now. Oh, it's fully charged, that's why. And then the fridge right now is just taking 7 watts. And that's the fridge cord right here. Oh, look, it's bringing in 81 just right now. 117, wow. Okay, so then the fridge cord comes over here, and this is where I have the fridge. I just put this little piece from a sleeping pad just to help kind of protect it. And then I've got some goodies in there. Says it's 42, usually fluctuates around that. But yeah, I've got storage down here. Let me put the bed down again. Okay, so in the time of having the van for 3 years, I've just gotten better with organizing things. You know, I'm working with limited space, so every spot is valuable space, and I've just gotten better at where I put things and organize things, and so I know exactly where everything is, just to keep things from getting too messy and just scattered everywhere after I use it. I try to put everything back where it belongs. Anyway, so now I'm just gonna show you, like, I guess everything that's in the van. So starting over here at the driver's seat, this little bag always has my hats, my beanies, everything in that. Always know where that is, and I can just fling it over when I'm trying to get into the fridge. I have a cutting board. That's kind of a recent thing. Because before I used to just cut everything on this, which I use like as a table to put my laptop on. And I was like, why don't I just get a normal cutting board? So got that. This is my curtain that hangs across here. I've just got little scarves. So this is like one of my favorite scarves, and I wanted to display it. And so I got that at Phantom Ranch. And then other little doodads from different events over here. And then I've had my toilet. This is a new addition. I have my pee bucket. So inside this is a foldable like toilet seat, basically, that you can put a bag in. And honestly, I can just set that up on the floor of the van and like be able to sit on it. So I found, honestly, like that was kind of the one thing that I needed. After I had everything else, I was like, having something where I could go to the bathroom in the van would be helpful. So there's that. On this side, I have my food. This is like my pantry. This is my kitchen. It's got like my Jetboil in it. And then over here, I just have like all my bags. It's got my computer, all my reusable bags. I've got like my toiletry bag down here, my fanny pack, my running belt. Everything has its place. And then a new addition I got is this cargo net. I think normally they're supposed to go back here, but it didn't work with me being able to sit up. So I was able to just move it forward and just have it on the handles. It is a bit precarious up here. Sometimes it does fall. And I just find that it's helpful to have a little bit more space to put things on. And so I end up putting like my dirty clothes up here that I'm gonna like rewear to hike or to go running in. I've also got like my sunshade, and then this cool disco light. This was a new addition to the van. That's always fun to plug that into my battery bank and have some disco lights in here. And then this was a necklace that I got from New Orleans years and years ago, and so I just made it into a little garland, and that makes me happy. And then I've got all these patches of places I've been and just wanted to be able to display them. And I figured, well, I'll just safety pin them to the cargo net rather than them sitting in, a box somewhere. Up front, I've got my prayer flags that I got in Kathmandu. I've got Bruce the Moose. This is like a Christmas ornament, but it just makes me happy, makes me think of my time in Alaska. I got this bell when I was in Thailand. A new addition is this fun little flower vase. I had real flowers in it once, but they just end up dying really quick because it gets so hot in here. So I just found this really nice little fake flower, and it just gives a little pop of color, and it just makes me happy. Oh, here's my hula girl I got in Hawaii this past year. And then that's my bag of shoes. This is my 5-gallon water jug. I keep my trash bag up here, my Kleenex. I found this little handy dandy water spout thing that I've just started to use. That's helpful. Got, this is lobster my friend's kids gave me. That's been in here since the very beginning. And then back here, some of the decor. I found this at like Goodwill bins, and it just makes me happy. It just makes it feel homier and, you know, just something fun rather than just having nothing here. And I've added little tokens that friends have given me. Tiger's eye from Pam, little witch from Anna. And then down here, got like my little adventure sign I got from Target. I did buy this little, what is it, like a cup extender, just because I found I needed a little bit more space, since my battery powered candle takes up, you know, a cup holder, and I like to have all this stuff back here. So this is like stuff I use for when I'm cooking. And then I've got my LED string lights right here. And oh, I've got more like pins. My friend's kid made me that. I've got my suitcase. You saw all that. And then on this side, I have some bunting that I made years and years ago. And I was like, oh, let me just match this side, you know, and hang that up. And then I had this collection of patches that, again, are just like sitting in a box. And I was like, I want to display them. And so I just safety pinned them to the bunting, and they're just from all the hikes that I've done. And it's just nice for me to see that. And I think it makes it fun. Same with all the pins. Like, I had all these really cool pins of places and things that I've done, and, you know, just wanted to be able to display them. So I just put them on my seatbelt that I don't use. So it's like, that's, you know, free space that I could do something with. You know, I potentially could put something here, but this belt ends up getting kind of caught on my bed a lot. And it's like close to me. So I feel like I would probably knock them off or something. And then this little thing is actually just a pocket from my old hammock. I just found that it would be helpful to have a little bit more storage over here than the cup holders. And so I just have a few doodads in here. But most importantly, I've got my dad. These are some of my dad's ashes in here that stays with me on all my trips. And I think that might be it. All right, that's the tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoy showing all these things in my van. And like I said, it just makes me happy to have all these things that remind me of different experiences that I've had in my life. And since I live in the van, you know, more and more every year, it's like, why not make it a reflection of my life? And so it's fun to have all these things in here, and makes it colorful. It makes it, you know, exciting instead of just having like a boring van, right? Like, this is my home. This is like my art that I would have on the walls if I had a home. So I hope you enjoyed it and got some good ideas of things that you can do in your space. And I'm always like looking at what other people do to learn what I can add. Like, I guess I forgot to mention, like, I do have a new bed. Since that first video, what I was just using, like some bench cushions that I had and like an old cot mattress. So the bed that I have now is like a trifold bed that a woman that I met on the Hayduke a couple years ago, that she uses in her vehicle that she stays in. And that's how I know about this, is just you learn, you talk to other people and see what they use, and, you know, gives you some ideas of what to do. Like with the toilet situation, you know, that was something I added last year, because after having the fridge and all those upgrades, I was like, what else could I do to make it more like sustainable for me to be in the van? And it's like, well, the toilet issue, which maybe I could do a whole video on that. But But I didn't want to do like a bucket, like a bucket with a seat, because a 5-gallon bucket is going to take up more space. And so I found the foldable ones, and I was like, that actually is the best for my situation with limited space. And it really takes up hardly any room where I have it stored. So I'm always interested in seeing what other people do and learning new tricks of, you know, where I can hang something, you know, what I can, you know, make this into a magnetic thing, or, I don't know. So that's always fun to constantly be upgrading. I think, you know, I've got like a bike rack now from my hitch that's like a swing away. I've got a rack to carry a kayak, but I don't have those on the van at all times, right? Like, it's only when needed. The next thing I'm thinking about maybe doing as like an upgrade would be to take the solar panel off, get new like towers and crossbars that actually like extend a bit more out to the width of my van instead of where they're like more inside, just to give me more space, and then put the solar panel on that, and then I might be able to have room to have like a really skinny cargo box. So that's a thought. So I would have to buy the towers, the crossbars, and a cargo box, which, you know, that total would probably be around $1,000, if not more. You know, ideally I would find them used, but so I'm just kind of playing whether or not it's that important to get that. I just think if I had a cargo box, I could be able to have more of my things with me. Because even on this trip, it's like, man, I wish I had my bike. I wish I had like a pack raft. I wish I had like all these different things I could have with me, but I'm just kind of limited on space, and I don't want it to get too crowded in here. So that's just something I've been thinking about lately, of whether or not I want to upgrade in that way. So we'll see. The next van tour might be in another 3 years. We'll see. And maybe it'll be another van. I don't know. I feel lucky. You know, this is, you know, not, I don't know if I ever told that story, but it's not what I wanted. Obviously, I had to settle for the minivan. Like, I wanted a high top van, but I just didn't have the money for it. So, but I've been really happy with this. Like, the gas mileage, just, it is really everything I have needed. And it's worked out just fine for me. So I am happy with what I have. And I'm just trying not to get too greedy and be like, you know, well, I could have a high top van. I could have this and this and this. But, you know, it's like, is it worth spending that much more money on that? So when I have everything I need right now. So we'll see. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.